Greetings, this is Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aharon, son of Levi, talking to you from Mount Zion, and the title of this presentation is Are You Keeping the Feasts at the Correct Time? This was requested by Edenic's son on Facebook today. I'm going to make 4 points to answer the question as to when is the correct time to keep the feasts. So beginning in Genesis, by the way, before I get into the text, I want to tell you I'm reading from the correct Torah by Jonathan ben Uziel, a Levite, and the Torah itself says that a Levite only should guard and copy the Torah and keep that in the bloodline. I'm a Levite by blood. I've examined this over the last 12 years in the land, observing the feasts, and this is the correct version, and I'm going to share these texts with you now. So Genesis 8:13 says, and it was in the 601st year in Tishri, in the first of the month, in the beginning of the year. So it's establishing that Tishri is the beginning of the year, the first month. Genesis 8:22 says, until all the days of the earth, sowing in the season of Tishri, and harvest in the season of Nisan. So you sow in the spring, and you harvest in the fall. So we now know that Tishri is in the spring, and Nisan is in the harvest period in autumn, in the fall. And we have coldness in the season of Tebeth, and warmth in the season of Tammuz, summer and winter, and these seasons are fixed forever. I'm going to reiterate this point as I go through these 4 steps, just for clarity. Okay, so moving to Genesis 8:4. It says, and the ark rested in the 7th month, which is the month of Nisan. So we're establishing that Nisan is in the 7th month, and remember Nisan is in the fall, in autumn. And again, I'm saying that Tishri is in the spring time. So going to Exodus chapter 13 verse 4. It reads, this day you are come out free on the 15th of Nisan, which is the month of Abib. So we came out from Mitzrayim during the Pesach or Passover month, which is now, and this is the month of Abib, which is in the fall. So I'm going to repeat the point I made earlier, that Tishri remains in the spring forever, and Nisan in the fall forever, and we came out in Nisan. Moving on. We then go to Exodus chapter 12 verses 1 and 2. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe and to Aaron in the land of Mitzrayim, saying, this month is ordained to you to be the beginning of months, and from it you shall begin to number for festivals and times and cycles. It shall be to you the first of the number of the months of the year. So the seasons, as I mentioned to begin with, sowing in Tishri in the spring, harvesting in the fall, in the autumn, remain the same. We just change the numbering now, so that the fall, which is now Nisan, Abib, is now the first month in the numbering as far as the feasts go. And this applies only to the seed of Jacob coming out of Egypt. And now we're going to just finish off with Genesis chapter 7 verses 11, and it reads, in the 600th year of the life of Noah, in the 2nd month, which was the month of For hitherto, up until Noah's time, The months had been numbered from Tishri, which was the beginning of the year, at the completion of the world. So now we can see that the numbering was changed at the Exodus. When we came out of Egypt, the Most High changed the numbering, the seasons, which is sowing in the spring and harvesting in the fall, remain the same forever. We just change how we number them. So this month, Nisan, Abib, is the first month for you, children of Israel, children of Jacob. Everybody else is on some other different time, and if you're following them, you're going wrong, you're off. So if you want to keep the feast at the correct time, you're welcome to return to the land that was promised to you and join us to keep it at the proper times. Right, so atonement and trumpet is in the spring. The whole world is keeping the feast wrong. But Jacob's seed, as blood Levites in the land with the correct book, were able to keep the feast at the proper times. So now you're supposed to be bringing in the tithes and the offerings, the tenths, for me to make sacrifice on your behalf, to make atonement, and to thank the Most High for the harvest. And as we know, during this period, we're counting the Omer. So in other words, Israel is supposed to be bringing forth the first fruits of the seed that was promised to return to the land. So that, if that is you, come and keep the feast at the proper time. And if you don't agree with this, well, stay where you are. And then to conclude, in Genesis 7 verses 11, it reads as follows. In the 600th year of the life of Noah, in the second month, which was the month of Marchesvan, for hitherto, up until then, the months had been numbered from Tishri, which was the beginning of the year at the completion of the world. So Tishri used to be the beginning, and now Abib, for those who came out of Egypt, the sons of Jacob. Abib Nisan is now the first month, but the feasts and seasons and months remain in the same place. You're still going to sow in springtime, and you're still going to harvest in the fall, in autumn. It's just that when you're harvesting now, that is now month 1. Okay, that's the end of the lesson. Any questions, please send them to me. I look forward to hearing from you.